Okay. We will be waiting for Die, but for anyone that has been here last week, any of you guys remember what happened? Hey there, Phoenix. Tilted. That looks better. And of course, I gotta fix this. I am still going to try to get this super glued, because I'm kind of tired of having to play with this piece of leather here. Nobody remembers what happened, huh? Okay, well, that's part of it. We did have to meet Larry Butts. You're correct. That's not everything. Anything else? No? Okay. We'll refresh what had happened. Still waiting for Die at the moment. But I'm recapping what happened last time. That's why I'm asking. This is for anybody who's been here. It has to be recapped. So we'll refresh so we can continue on. So this is important for the stream. So anyways, what had happened is we went to the Albest side, the Albest embassy. We came in contact with a murder scene in the ambassador's office. Damas 2 was murdered, and Larry Butts was the suspect. We also met Wendy Oldbag. We also met Bad, all in the same vicinity. And we did whatever we could to clear Larry's name from murdering the mask. And we were left with a mystery in our hand, how Cochin's fingerprints were on the Albest Prima Duck statue. Now, our theory was that Cochin had to come over on the Albest side. Well, we'll find out that's not possible. We'll evidently find out that's not possible. So, but of course, Ambassador Alba has to have a secretary, and unfortunately, the only secretary I could think that was his was Manny Cochin's, but that's not correct. So that's where we left off, and we're going to pick up back in Babal Embassy. That's where we're going to start with. Don't forget to check out Poggers. Get your 10% with that link in the chat. Got mixed energy drinks, mixed hydration drinks. Think of Gatorade for hydration. Mixed sleep drinks. You have shakers where you can put, it doesn't have to be their mixed drinks that you put in the shaker, but you can put any mixed drink into the shaker. There is a 16 ounce. I guess there's the 16 ounce is one size. They have other sizes too. I guess they have a smaller size, and they also have a bigger size. So if you take a look at the website, you'll see what they have. Some of the products do seem to be sold out. Like some of the stickers look like they've been sold out. I have not seen them restock the stickers yet. But die should be coming here any minute. And Jose finishes up Miles Edgeworth's investigation before me. That's because he was doing 2 to 3 parts a day. That's why he was able to finish off Miles Edgeworth's investigation. He's going to be working on Prosecutor's Gambit tomorrow. We still have a ways to go. Like I said, we won't start Prosecutor's Gambit until October. But we also have a planned October event. We are going to try to see if we can't get Castlevania going. That's our October month. We're going to try to see if we can't run through all the games. I'm not sure who's going to play it, but that's for the month of October. And if you haven't played it, I do recommend that you guys play it. They are really good games. I myself enjoy them. I haven't beat any of the NES ports or the Super Nintendo ports. I've played the Genesis port maybe once or twice because I didn't have the game when I was little for the Genesis. Plus, we didn't have the Genesis for very long because the console broke. Now we have a Genesis, but we still don't have a Castlevania onto it. But we do have it on the Switch. Matter of fact, we do have every single Castlevania games that's available for the Switch. I have 2 Castlevania games for the PS2. Don't own the 64 version. I don't even own the PS3 ports either. So the only way we're going to do the one for the N64 is probably emulate it. So we'll figure out how that's going to get done. I guess I will update that. Welcome, Di. We were just in the middle of talking about next month and our October themed month. It's going to be Castlevania. So I hope to see you in the Castlevania streams. If you want to also play Castlevania through the month of October, that's a good game to play. Since you haven't really played Castlevania, I don't believe, I would play the Japanese ports because the Japanese ports aren't as difficult as the American ports. Same with you, Phoenix. Since you haven't played it, because I know you haven't played it, you really should just play the Japanese port. Because the American port, Capcom added a hit back in the game, which makes the game a lot tougher. This was done to make the game difficult for rental reasons. All right. Di, do you remember what happened last week? We recapped it already earlier, but do you remember? I'm guessing not. Here's what I suggest, Phoenix. You can stream it all you want, but I suggest starting with the first game. Okay? How you do it after the first collection is up to you. If you want to do it by release, you can do it by release. I'm doing it by continuity because Miles Edgeworth is a direct sequel to Trials and Tribulations. Both Miles Edgeworth games take place before Apollo Justice completely. There's a case in Apollo Justice. These two games take place before Phoenix loses his badge. Like I said, try not to wait for it. Keep posting content because you still have to keep your viewer retention up. If you wait for something, then it's just going to keep going down. Hello, Bunny. Welcome. So, if you want to wait until you got a mic to play the Ace Attorney games, play something else. Castlevania is a good game to start out with, too. You don't need a microphone to play Castlevania. Matter of fact, it's probably going to be much more distracting to play while talking because of how difficult the game is. But Castlevania is a good one to start out with. Alright, so let's start. March 14th, 9:21 p.m., open air stage. Are you sure about that? Have you actually seen the game? Because I wouldn't be saying that if you've never seen the game before. I've left the Damascus 2 investigation to Francisca and returned to Babao. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into the Babao statue. Mr. Edgeworth! Okay, what's the situation? Oh, it's great! Investigating is so much fun! I'm treating it like a video game! In other words, they made absolutely no progress. We're goofing off on this, sir! We've been investigating our hearts out! Very well then, what would you care to give me an update on your investigation? We've had a really fun time, sir. We've been treating it like a video game, like Kay said. I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir! You have permission to enter the Albastine Embassy. Is that correct? Yup! As a local detective, I'm helping out with the investigations on both sides, sir. Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. They belong to the lady under the pink princess's mask. Pink princess? What kind of a lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the pink badger yesterday. Ugh! Oh! My stomach doesn't feel so good now. But understood, sir. If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, then I guess I'll unload them and them somewhere. Doesn't seem all that enthused to go find her. I can't blame him. Evidence that has lost their value given to Detective Gumshoe. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either. What? Are you really going to throw the autograph away? Yes, because the Steel Samurai was a fake. Steel Samurai's autographs punched up into a ball and disposed of. And given to Dayusi as a present. Wait, what? What do you mean by fake? Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. All unnecessary evidence has been given to Dayusi to give to Phoenix. Yes? How is the investigation going in Bubbly's Secretariat's office, okay? Well, even though we found a few treasures, they've all been pretty much burnt to a crisp. A treasure is a terrible thing to waste. A terrible thing to waste. Why are you singing a Meatloaf song? I don't know, it just popped in my head. Anyways, is there anything else I should know about? Okay, that's right. You know what I found in that office? A wooden bear carving. It's so cute. Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? No, of course you can. By the sound of things, it appears that there has been no progress in the investigation. Hey, you're not going back to Albest already, are you? No, not yet. I still need to gather more information first. Mr. Edgeworth! You look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective. Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as of a good investigation, sir. So, what did you find out? Well... I take it he has found nothing of any particular use, as usual. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got something really interesting from Ambassador Pelino. Oh, and what is that something interesting? This, sir. Wow, it's so pretty. I'm so jealous. That's a real treasure there. Why does the flame burn green, Detective? So, apparently, if you burn the special wood crystal oil that they only make in Babal, it burns this green color, sir. Interesting. So is a special property of the oil. I suppose this is a ploy to force people to visit Babal should the oil run out. Hey, Gummy, what about those silhouettes? They stuck some cutouts on the outside of the lantern, so it projects the image. Oh, silhouettes? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation. Hey, what's wrong, sir? There's something I want to investigate from. There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much? You got it, sir. Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff? Oh, well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner. I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant. I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Silhouette lantern data jotted down in my organizer. Ah, so you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these, you can eat whatever you like. These are discount tickets for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern, however, these two funds do nothing for me right now. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally, we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract the extra bit of attention to Babal. I heard that tonight, over in the Albastine Rose Garden, Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Coaching told you that? Yes, he did. Which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Because the fire the Yatagarasu started? Exactly. Ambassador Pelino, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Primadox statue. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Did you know that the Albest and Babal used to be one country called Cadapia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Primadox statue belongs to the founders of Cadapia. At least, that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed onto the king of Cadapia as a symbol of the country's wealth. So it was meant as a symbol of severity and the right to rule, I take it? Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's pretty petty when you think about it though, I suppose. But if Albest and Babal were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? I have no reason to believe so. The Primadox statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if Ambassador Pelino knows about what has happened to the very important key to the diplomacy. Perhaps I should try showing him the key and see what he has to say about it. Ambassador Pelino, there's just one thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes? Oh, and don't worry, you can ask me more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you'll come to Babal, yes? Thank you, but just the one thing is all I require. Manny Cochin, I'd like to ask you about this man who was your secretary. Sure, I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. he was, well, if I had to put it in one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose because he was an able man, I was unable to detect his dirty dealing. It sounds like Mr. Cochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny has been really busy. Since I became the Babalin's representative at the County Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. Sorry, what is the Country Unification Council? Oh, well, you see, that tonight's event proceeded without a hitch. Our two countries were to reunify and become one again. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon. I suppose not. Okay. And back to Pelino. If you could please take a look at this for me. The Primadoc statue sitting in the Albest right now actually belongs to Babal. So it would appear. I received a call from Ms. Von Karma about this earlier. Then you will understand why I wish to inspect Babal's Primadoc statue immediately. Because the statue currently is in your country's possession. Yes, well, I've already inspected it myself. And it is definitely an Albest statue. I know because it's the real statue. Then you're saying the Babal's was a replica? I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I received my orders from the leaders of Babal. I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the results of the evaluation tonight. To say that we could not determine which statue was the real one. Why are you telling me this? Well, because you already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Even if Babal were to lose space to reunification, the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic? Hey, where are you going? Are you heading back to Alabas? Yes, before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Oh, I see. So there's a murder in both countries using an object from the other country? That's the gist of it. Babal is just as strict as Albest. And their inspection of the people and things that enter their country, meaning that somehow both murder weapons were smuggled into two countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries. You mean the fake Yatagarasu? In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. This I am sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was the rose garden in the Albertine side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of this boundary. It's where Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight. At least, that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it's vital that I investigate the rose garden post-haste. Wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? My guess is that it's a guitar pick. I picked it up just now over there. Do you think it'll be of any use? A little water. But how did the water get on it? Doesn't look like there's anything that could get wet from around here. I was thinking, they have concerts here at the open air stage from time to time, right? Alright, I'll find its owner later. Pick data jotted down in my organizer. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to these? What is this? It's misused perfume. It's the bottle the woman left behind and that I found 7 years ago. I thought that one day it'd be of some use and track it down. So I kept it safe all this time. Thank you. I'll be honored to hold on to it for you. Just use perfume data jotted down in my organizer. Okay. I think I'll be returning to the investigation in Alabama now, but no, I know. I'll go back to Balbal and do some more investigating there. March 14th, 9:58 p.m., Rose Garden. I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. How are things in Balbal? Well, I can't really say. Although I can't really say I expect much from Scruffy and that girl. The investigation into Manny Cochin's death hasn't really progressed since. However, the investigation into the Yatagrasu has. Ah, yes, the Yatagrasu. Even now I find it hard to believe a person who can freely traverse between the two countries as well at will. Preposterous. Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where the witness claims to have seen the Yatagarasu. That's correct. Ambassador Alba was to be giving a speech tonight in the Alabaster. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared and just as suddenly it vanished. After that, there was a fire at the Babalese embassy that the Yatagarasu started. I vow that not a single feather from the Yatagarasu should escape my diligence. Rose Garden. Begin investigation. Yes? Tonight, in this very Rose Garden, the Alabastine ambassador Porcus Elba was to give a commemorative speech. A very key commemorative speech at that. And including Agent Lane, the security detail was very tight. But, as if to mock her efforts, the Yatagarasu appeared. Then, just like that, the thief vanishes and starts a fire at the Babalese embassy. Interesting. And are you sure it was the Yatagarasu who appeared here? Of course. But to have slipped by such tight security and then disappear into thin air, we will need to conduct a very thorough investigation of this area. Yes, my thoughts exactly. In order to find out the truth behind what happened here, I should start by gathering as much information as I can. There are roses scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. Not just for aesthetics, this pool's water is also used in putting out fires. Let's see. Oh. The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to stay open until the pool's water reaches a certain level. If this water is used to put out fires, it's supposed it must be refilled to its normal level, which suggests that this pool was recently used somehow in this embassy. I guess I'll take some notes about it just in case. Fountain sprouts data jotted down into my organizer. How dare you surprise me like that? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Edgy, thanks for what you did back there. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment. I know that! But do you really think that I'm the type to just jump into a pool and swim around for fun? Yes. Alright then, did you, by chance, fall into the pool? Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right, Edgy? Your son? I guess I kind of lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. And I'm pretty sure he was around here when I saw him! You impeccable! How can you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do if your son falls into the pool? And how old is this child of yours anyways? Huh? How old is he? Hold it! Larry, this is the first time I've ever heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? The mother? Oh, the chick, the pink princess. The pink princess? Hold it! Miss Von Karma, as dumbfounded as we are, I was a bit confused by this man's words for a bit there. However, I believe what he is looking for is the doll of the Iron Infant. Yep, because I'm the Steel Samurai through and through, heart and soul. And the Iron Infant is my cute little son. You have given a whole new meaning to the phrase, an astounding fool. Larry, we have not seen hide or hair of the Iron Infant, but rest assured that if we should find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of there. That sounds good. In that case, I'll go search over there. Hey, wait! As if you'll get very far swimming around in the pool. And though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir. And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and one person ran a light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Why is the MIB looking into petty crime? You tell me! You're part of Interpol, damn it. Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Really? You're Interpol and you're worried about petty crimes? Agent Lang. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor. I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Elba? We're to wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of the day. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home on an urgent matter. As if I can be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out, screaming into the light. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? You were working as Ambassador Obata's bodyguard at the time, so naturally you witnessed what the Yatagrasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw that thief, alright, with my own 2 eyes. The Yatagrasu was always there lurking in the shadows. When the spotlights were turned on for Ambassador Elba's speech, a shadow appeared. That's when cries of, "It's the Yatagarasu!" ran out. The next second, the spotlight went out. And by the time we got the area lit again, the theft had vanished. When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights were out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that basically all you saw was the thief's silhouette? Yes.
Objection!
If all you saw was a shadow, then it's entirely possible that the shadow belonged to someone else. Ha! Good thinking, sis. You just might be right. If it weren't for the fact that there were no one else with the same shape. That among the staff on the other audience members. My men have already done a thorough check of everyone, so I know I'm right. Someone else's shadow? That sounds like a plausible hypothesis. Okay. This section bears a resemblance to the Primadox statue. The plaque says King Primadox in the battlefield. In order to save the Queen, King Primadox put his life on the line and went to war. The Primadox was actually a person of royal blood. I thought he was simply someone imitating a character from an ancient legend. Well, what surprises me is that a real person who looked like the Steel Samurai existed. I suppose that's that, too. The statue of a woman. I wonder if this lady is pouring water. It says that it's a statue of the Queen who spoke of love to King Primadox. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it seems that you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. I opened my mouth about a statue and she somehow made that leap to that. The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I figured out its true origin. I expected no less from my subordinate. Now let's hear what you know on the subject. What really caused the shadow of the Yatagarasu? So Dai, what do you think? You want to try out the statue, okay?
Take that!
The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. It's not possible that it was created by the statue.
Objection!
Are you playing me for a fool, Miles Edgeworth? This statue bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Yatagarasu. You're correct. However, this statue is but one part of the whole picture. What do you mean by only one part? What is the other part to the real form of the Yatagarasu shadow? Okay, now we're over on this side. Which one do you think it is? Well, we can't just use this one, but let's try this statue, shall we? Well, we'll be using the light. Trust me, but we'll try the statue.
Take that!
Another statue? Yatagrasu's shadow was made from the shadow of these two statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were moved when the guests were in a panic state. However, if we were to restore the light to where they were when the thief appeared, we believe that the two shadows will create the Yatagarasu shadow. Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Yatagarasu. First, we set up a spotlight to cast the shadow of the King Primadot and the battlefield. The shadow of the King statue would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Likewise, if we set a light on the Queen who spoke of love to King Primadot, her silhouette would also appear on the backdrop to the stage. Aha! So if we were to combine the two shadows, it looks nothing like the Yatagarasu shadow. Miles Edgeworth, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Franziska. The way the light needs to be shown on the Queen statue is wrong. What do you mean by that? I believe that the whole of the King's shadow needs to be used for this to work. However, in the case of the Queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. Rather, the person who created the shadow only used one part of her shadow. Only one part? Yes. That part alone is enough to fill in the rest of the Yatagarasu shadow. So, what does it look like to you, Dai? What does it look like? You want me to give you a hint? Yes? No? Well, what you see is a shadow, okay? But that green is supposed to look like what? I'm giving you a hint. Close enough, yes. Why didn't you say that in the first place? You're right. I apologize. Now, what part of the Queen statue was used to complete the Yatagrasu shadow? And since I gave you that hint, where do you want me to put that? Well, we have to put it on one of them, so...
Take that!
Think back to what is missing in our shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? Ah! That's right. It can only be the shadow of the Queen's left hand. Francisca, can you please adjust the spotlight's position so that it only shines on the Queen's left hand? Alright, let's give it a try and see what we get. Ba-bam! It's... Yeah, that is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's position beforehand, and then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. In their panic, the guests must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume was also part of the culprit's plan. By the time the lights came back on, the Yatagarasu shadow had vanished. This means that the shadow was a construct from the very beginning. So you see, the Yatagarasu never did visit Elabeth tonight. The only country that the thief visited was Babal. Although it can be assumed that the Yatagarasu had an accomplice and Elabeth. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show. I sense that the biggest clue yet to solve this case is the existence of this accomplice. How's the investigation going? Detective Bad, have you come to join us in investigating the Yatagarasu? Look, the murder and Agent Lang's charge. And my only target in the very beginning is Yatagarasu. So, yeah. So, what have you found out? I got a piece of evidence. Can I see it? Sure, but you might regret it. We're here because we are ready to face whatever may come. So if you please. When people heard the commotion, bystanders started gathering. One woman claimed, I'm telling you, I'm a genius. Genuine international journalist. Sure. You gave me an interesting picture. Journalist? Do you know the journalist he's talking about, Di? I'm sure you probably can figure it out. You may not remember her name right now. But you probably know who she is. A lot of heart. He's probably your favorite detective, Red Dye. Puts on an intimidating face, but he is as gentle as a teddy bear. Well, actually, he's a freelance cameraman. This is a photo I got from her. What in the world? This picture actually looks a lot better in the HD version. But you technically see more in this picture. Yatagarasu is flying through the air? Times, they are changing. It's not just man. Evidence. Even they lie to us now. When was this photo taken? Apparently, right after the fire. On the 4th and 5th floors were put out. It was taken from a nearby building that you can see from the embassy. I see. So this was taken after the fire. Photo of the Yatagarasu jotted down in my organized. So remember what Bad said. This was taken after the fires on the 4th and 5th floor. Okay? Were put out, okay? But we also had a fire on the 3rd floor too. So this was taken before then. So keep that in mind, because you'll find out that they make a whole bunch of reference to what Bad said later. So this is why I like to keep mental notes. The blur in this picture took off from the Balbalese embassy, flew over the boundary, and headed from the embassy of the LFS.
Objection!
This is simply not possible. People are incapable of flight. It's not a fact. I've had the pleasure of dealing with a case involving a flying person once. Huh. We're going to reference 2 games out of this, okay? Actually, come to think of it, I've come across a case like that as well. 2, actually. So, which one is she referencing? Her first one was Turnabout Big Top. When Max Galactica was accused of murdering the ringleader. That was one. Bridge to the Turnabout. When Iris was accused of flying across a burning bridge by Larry Butts' picture. When we found out that if you turn the picture upside down, a body was pendulating underneath the burning bridge. So that's the case that they're talking about. Miles Edgeworth would only be talking about the second one, because he wasn't even involved with Big Top. Maybe it happens more often than we think. Am I up to the task of solving the mystery behind this photograph? Oh, the Autograssi took off from the Babalese embassy, so I should start from there. As this guy, I need to return to the Babal investigation for a bit. Alright. Actually, what other things do you have on here? I wonder what that photo earlier was all about. Indeed, the photo certainly was interesting. I believe the necessities, they need to investigate the Babalese embassy some more. The writing. The writing was fixed in the HD version. The writing was fixed in the HD version. I have already seen most of the HD version, and the writing was definitely fixed. And I have to read the bad one. I suppose we have no choice if we are to conduct the perfect investigation. I suppose so. I will have to pass through the Theatre Neutralis to reach the Babalese embassy. To still speak the English. I'll continue investigating on this side of the building. Alright, I'm counting on you. Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Now come on, let's get back to our investigation. Yes, let's... Actually, what do you have to say? Yes. Is there really any place left we haven't checked out yet in the Babalese embassy? Interpol was conducting its investigation when you were being held by Agent Chino. Because of that, I was unable to examine the fireplace in the Secretariat staff. True, and since he's here, we should talk with Ambassador Pelino some more too. He looks so sad and lonely since Mr. Cochin died. Yes, he does, and you are correct. I have a few issues I still need to discuss with him. We should make the best of this opportunity. March 14th, 10:37 p.m., Babalese Embassy, Secretariat's office. To think after all that, running around, we're right back where we started. It would appear that way. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! Have you found Manny's killer yet? I'm terribly sorry, Ambassador Pelino, but I haven't yet to find the killer. I guess his murder really was the work of the Autograssi. Let's get one thing straight. It was the work of the fake Autograssi. The real Autograssi is a noble vigilante who is only out to steal the truth. Miss Faraday, please don't make such a sad face. If there's anything I can do for you, all you have to do is ask, alright? Mr. Pelino. Actually, there is one thing you can do. Will you allow us to take another look around? We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier. Oh, sure. Please feel free to investigate to your heart's content. Also, there are a few questions I'd like to ask you personally, Ambassador. If it will bring a smile back to Miss Faraday's face, then I'll gladly answer anything. Thank you, Mr. Pelino. You're a total gentleman. You don't have to waste such nice words on me, little miss. Hey, Sir Pelino. Those two sure got chummy awfully quick. You know, it's easy to say. We going to investigate, but where should we begin? We should probably start by comparing the state of this room before and after the fire. And then we should look into the matter of the suspicious person spotted. Yeah, when I came into this room, that person was already gone. I'm willing to bet that the person I was chasing is Mr. Coach's killer. I don't know about that yet. However, it's hard to believe that person is unrelated. Furthermore, because the key the Yatagarasu stole 7 years ago was found here, it signals that perhaps Miss Yu is also somehow involved. No, that woman is almost definitely Mr. Cochin's killer. Again, we don't know that. There are too many mysteries installed in this case. Speaking of the Yatagarasu mysteries, I received the most mysterious photo from Detective Bad. Uncle Bad? He's taking part in the investigation too? Yeah, he has been chasing after the Yatagarasu for all these years. Uncle Bad. Now then, I was told that this is the photo was taken just after the fire. What? This kind of looks like the person in the long coat I was chasing. Does this mean that I was chasing the fake Yatagarasu after all? I don't know the answer to your question, but I don't think people should fly either. But this could be how the person escaped. Well, we'll need to investigate a bit more before we can say anything about that. In any case, let's not dawdle anymore and pick up our investigation where we left off. Bubbly's Embassy Secretariat Office. Okay, he has nothing more to say. Now then, Ambassador, I'd like to ask about your movement before the fire broke out. Before the fire? Which fire are we talking about? Which one? There was more than one tonight? Huh? Oh, I see. I guess you didn't hear about that. We had 2 fires here at the Babalese Embassy tonight. What a bother of this time. Wait, but the only fire we know about is the one after the Jammin' Ninja show. Ah, well, the first occurred at the start of the Jammin' Ninja show. Luckily, only the 4th and 5th floors of our embassy caught on fire. Not wanting to cause a panic among the theater goers, we decided to keep it internal. And the fires after the Jammin' Ninja show was the second one of the night. Exactly. So the fire I witnessed was the second one. With how these windows here looks like they've been blown out, you should have already guessed that there was a fire up here anyways. Come to think of it, didn't Detective Bad make a reference to the first fire? When was the photo taken? Apparently right after the fire. On the 4th and 5th floors were put out. I suppose this means that the photo was taken just after the first fire was put out. Photo of Yatagarasu data updated in my organizer. So then, what was the extent of the damage in the second fire? The second floor was contained to this floor, the 3rd floor. I think it was left over embers from the fires in the floors above it that caused it. That's, how should I put this? A very bad stroke of luck. My offices were on the 5th floor. Manny's office is here. And Manny himself, all gone in the blink of an eye. Fires and the ball that I jotted down in my organizer. I feel so sorry for you, Mr. Palino. Oops, look at me again. Look at me going on and on. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me again? We were discussing what your actions and whereabouts for today were. And if you happen to know what Mr. Coach's actions and whereabouts were as well. Yes, very well. Let's see. I've been quite busy all today from morning until now. First I woke up and then I brushed my teeth. After that, I had a roll for breakfast. Fascinating. How about if we just skip to the relevant parts for me? Oh, you'd like a condensed version. Alright, I can do that for you. So, what did Mr. Cochin and you do this morning? Well, originally, we were supposed to meet and shake hands with the Gem and Ninja. But Manny and I wanted to turn it into a photo op, so we were here tidying up his office. You helped clean Mr. Cochin's office? Why were you not cleaning your own? Oh, I think I forgot to mention that but my office is currently undergoing renovation. Which is why both the Primadoc statues and the Babalin's knives are down here. I see. Oh, but the tidying didn't take much really. We just burned some files we no longer needed and expired coupons in the fireplace. I bet cleaning up the fireplace must have been a real pain though, huh? Above that, I kind of forgot to clean the ashes out. I guess I'm up a creek without Manny here to get angry at me. An ambassador like yourself has been on the receiving end of a secretary's anger. He was very good at being very mad. Why, even just this morning he got mad at me. I spilled some Bubbly's ink onto the back wall when I was burning the files, you see. And he got mad at me, saying that I should treat the ink with more respect. Apparently, orders go up the chain of command around here. Ambassador Palino's testimony jotted down in my organizer. That's about it for what we did this morning, just some cleaning. Don't tell me you had no other work to do, being an ambassador and all. Now then, if you could tell me what you and Mr. Cochin did this afternoon. Well, Manny and I went down together to the theater in Neutrality. We had to be there for the start of the Steel Samurai stage show. After the show started, I went back to my office on the 5th floor alone. So they were together until the start of the Steel Samurai show. A little while later, after I had straightened myself up a bit, I returned to the theater. Because I was to take part in the photo op on stage at the end of the show. There was a commemorative photo op at the end. It was a fascinating photo of the three of us. Ambassador Elbow, the Steel Samurai, and myself. After the photo shoot, I went back to my office on the 5th floor to prepare for my handshake photo op with the Gem and Ninja. It seems to be rather overworked for an ambassador. When I got in my office, that's when the first fire broke out and I escaped down the stairs. The office was completely destroyed, but thankfully no one was hurt. I admit I ran away from the fire first as fast as my legs could carry me, but during the second one I pitched in and helped the embassy staff put it out. So you didn't see Mr. Cochin again after the start of the Steel Samurai show? Yes, that's right. The next time I saw him, he was lying there, and an eternal sleep. I see. Pastor Pelino, I thank you very much for your help. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more assistance, Mr. Edgeworth. If there is anything else, please don't hesitate to ask, alright? Okay. It appears that this area was heavily damaged by the fire. Yeah, I guess we should hurry up and get started examining everything. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nooking branch. Got some Bobbly ink here. This is Bobbly's ink on Mr. Coachin's desk. It looks like there's still a lot of ink left inside. The seal is unbroken, so the fire probably couldn't get into the bottle to burn up the ink. Mr. Pelino, it looks like your precious Bobbly's ink is alright after all. What? That's odd. Ambassador, what do you mean by that? Well, it's just that there's something strange about the ink. Would you mind elaborating on the statement for me, please? You got nothing. Okay. I wonder if you might tell me what you noticed about Mr. Coachin's bottle of ink. I just thought of it right now, but during the second fire, Manny was worried about his office, so he came rushing back to it. I called out to him, and when I received no reply, I used my spare key to open the door. But when I did, I was greeted by a roaring green flame. The flames were so big that I wasn't able to see into the room at all. The fire was green? What was the cause? Well, wood crystal oil burns green when it's lit, as you can see by this lantern. The Bobbly's ink is made from the same oil, which means it would also burn green. You know, Luigi, I too had thought it was Manny's ink that had caught on fire. So that's why I was surprised to find out there was still a bottle of ink left on his desk. The cause of the perplexing green flame. Talk about a mystery. What exactly was it that was caught on fire in here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. It would appear that his desk also fell victim to the fire, but it doesn't look too damaged. Oh, I think we can rifle through the drawer a bit. I suppose we really should take a look. This is a rather unusual shape for a notepad. I suppose this must be another souvenir from somewhere. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence that I hold? Die! You've seen this shape before, right? Do you know where it came from? The shape of this notepad matches the shape of this note we found. Hey, you're right. What is it? It looks like something straight out of a Monument Valley. Oh yes, the notepad is a souvenir from somewhere in your country. We've been collecting them for the purpose of studying them, you see. Yes, I do. You do seem to be quite passionate about it. Oh, would you like to see my souvenir collection? I'd love to show it to you. Are you sure they haven't been burnt to a crisp by the fire? Professor Pelino, I wonder if you might recognize the handwriting on this note. This looks like Manny's handwriting. Let's see, in that case. Ooh, did you figure something out? This note was found in the Alabama. Specifically, it was found being firmly grasped by the murdered Damask 2. Damask 2? Then this note? Yes, it was a request from Mr. Cochran from Damask 2 to steal the Primadox statue. What? Manny tried to steal the Alabama Primadox statue? We would know for sure we could run a handwriting analysis. Ambassador, do you have any documents that were written by Mr. Cochran? Yes, I can gather a few and give them to you. I'll have to ask Detective Gunter later to run the analysis. I can't believe that Manny would even think of doing something like this. Do you have any idea as to why he would have requested the theft of the statue? There's only one possibility, but mind you, it's just my personal speculation. Anything you tell me would be of great help, Ambassador. I believe that you said you might have an idea as to why Mr. Cochran hired Damask 2. Actually, I fear it may be my fault. As I was telling you earlier, we were to determine which statue was the real one as part of today's event. But because we got a garage fire here, that got canceled, didn't it? I'm actually relieved the rest of the event has been canceled. You see, the Babal statue? Well, it's just a replica. And did Mr. Cochran know that about the Babal Primadox statue? Of course he knew. That's why he was the only person I could consult with. We had to do something once the statue was revealed as a replica. As to be expected, I was very nervous today, as this would impact our country's authority. Yes, I understand. Well, when I told Manny my concerns, he said, let me handle it. It'll be alright. I'll find a way to make sure you're the ambassador of the reunited adopted. At the time, I thought he was just trying to cheer me up. And when I saw the note, I realized he was serious.
Hold it!
Mr. Cochran conducted a lot of business behind your back. I assume he did all of that to ensure that you are the next Dopian ambassador. But why was he trying so hard, I wonder? He was so much better at getting things done than I ever was or will be. I don't know the answer to why he was trying so hard yet, but I suspected he had an ulterior motive in mind beyond just simple kindness. Oh, here you are, Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gunter, have you collected the information I requested? This music does not play in the remake. They play Gumshoe's old theme in this part. So I'm kind of surprised they made that change. Huh? What do you mean? I understand this plays in the second one. I wasn't talking about the second one. But in the remake, this area here plays the original Gumshoe theme. Yep, got it all here, sir. Here you go, Kay. Feel free to take a look. It's for you, after all. What is all this, Gummy? It's all the information on this room that I got from the embassy and Interpol people. No, we know exactly how this room was before and after the fire. Good work, Detective. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I'm an expert at getting people to talk. Wow, you two remind me so much of my father and Uncle Ben. What do you mean? As prosecutor and detective, your dynamic is just like theirs back in the day. Well, don't you worry. I'm going to find my own wonderful partner someday. And when I do, I'm going to become a good Yatagurasu. Just like my father, right?
Hold it!
Please don't ask me questions to which I have no answers to, Kay. However, I can say that it is truly a wonderful thing to find a partner you can trust. Hey, you bet! So, what now, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I'd like to ask you for a favor. Yeah? That gadget, Mr. Thief it is? That thing you call your secret weapon? Oh, you mean Little Thief? You're coming to rely on it, aren't you?
Hold it!
I don't need a crutch like that. I'm only asking because I need it for the investigation. From the information Detective Gumshoe gathered and the ambassador's testimony, I'd like you to please recreate this room as it was during the third floor fire. You got it. Alright, here we go. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take flight. One alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. It seems there are other things besides the ambassador. What the ambassador mentioned that has changed. It's possible that we might find the escape route that the person Case saw used as well. Ooh, what is this? Is it some sort of light show I was not told about? This is the power of the true vigilante. It's recreating the room with the info I inputted. Really? Well, that is certainly one interesting device you have there, Miss Faraday. Huh. I believe it's about time we return to our investigation. Ready for a review on how to use Little Thief? Okay, here we go. Objects outlined in yellow are things that are not present in our time, but were in the past. Things outlined in a dotted line are things that exist now, but didn't in the past. Let's see. You can examine and interact with the replicated people and objects as you do normally. You can even present evidence whenever you find an inconsistency. Oh, and be sure to point out mistakes in the recreation with evidence too. I think I remember now. Thank you for the refresher course, Kay. And if there's anything you don't get about Little Thief, feel free to ask anytime, okay? Looks like it was quite the fire, huh? Yes, it appears that the flames spread fairly quickly to some of the other rooms as well. Yeah, but thanks to Gummy's info, I was able to recreate this room. Plus, the burnt stuff is still lying around, so you can check those as well. State of this room before and after the room. I can probably obtain some new information by confirming the differences. Yes, that's what I'll do. And and use my new information to complete my logic. These must have been the large green flames Ambassador Pelino saw. With flames like this, it's no wonder he couldn't get in. Okay, by the time you came into this room, had the fire already been put out? Yeah, the fire had died out, or something by that time. Then this fire is only the fire in here only burned from the time the fire started on the 3rd floor, until the Yatagrasu appeared and caused a stir and babal, I suppose. I guess Mr. Pelino was just lucky enough to run into this fire as it was burning, huh? Yes, you can put it that way. And since you were the first to discover the body, we can assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person you were chasing off, of course. I knew it. That person I saw was definitely up to no good. I mean, that person could even be Mr. Kochin's killer. That is very likely to be the case. After all, that person came into this room before you, and must have chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here. Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it was to prevent anyone from coming in. But then, what did the person set on fire to make the green flame? Well, whatever it is, that person burned. It made a rather sizable fire. And since the fire is green, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? It's a bit tinier than this flame, tinier than these flames, but you get what I mean. Yes, and I do believe that what you are thinking exactly what these flames, why these flames are green. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames? This one should be easy for you to figure out, Dai. We only have one thing that burns green. Let me go through them. Dai forgot. Oh, you forgot what it was called? I think you'll soon remember what it's called.
Take that!
This silhouette lantern, its green flame comes from the wood crystal oil burning. Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green it gives off. I think we've now established that the green flames were caused by wit crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there is only one other thing made from wit crystal oil. Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Pelino was mistaken about, right? Yes, precisely. As we found out earlier in our investigation. What? I don't get it. You told me in, sir? Fine, I suppose. I'll explain it in a way that even you can understand. This is the thing made from wet crystal oil that Ambassador Palladino was mistaken about. This one should be easy. I could probably give you a hint. Let's see. Let's spell out D-I-Y-O-U-S-I. What do you have to have in your pen to write with? That should give you a hint.
Take that!
Babalu's ink is made from wet crystal oil. Ooh, so it should burn the same color as the flames in the lantern, right? Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from a bottle of Babalu's ink, because we found the ink in Mr. Cochin. The ink Mr. Cochin used on his desk, right? Yes, however, we know that Mr. Cochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with that ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flame. Oh yeah, I'm beginning to really feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. It would appear that I've finally found that smuggling brings real gold. Made of Babalu's ink, this is the source of the green flame. What do you think was printed on using Babalu's ink? And again, he gave out the hint that is related to the smuggling ring. Okay, that's all of them. Back? How far back are we going? No, the lantern's not using ink. The lantern's using wit crystal oil, which is in the bubbly ink. What you're looking for is using the bubbly ink.
Take that!
What would consume that great of a volume of ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that the smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zhengfa. You're kidding! You're saying that it was Mr. Cochin who made the counterfeit bills? I am. I believe you could even go as far as say that he stole Babal's printing press. Ambassador, Mr. Cochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correct? Why, yes, and I do remember seeing him use it in the middle of the night. But never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed. Ambassador, because of your secretary's crimes, you will need to be investigated as well. Yes, I suppose so. We caused a bit of trouble for a few countries, haven't we? It's my duty to search out all who shielded Mr. Cochin and concealed his crime. For they are the ones who started the fire in order to destroy the evidence. Counterfeit bills that are jotted into my organizer. Looks like all of these souvenirs suffered some damage from the fire. I don't believe it. Murder on top of arson. What a disgrace to the name of the Yatagarasu. Where's Ruby, Dai? Is Ruby the Yatagarasu? Doesn't he like arson? The fake Yatagarasu is guilty of much more than just thief, it seems. I know, because if it were me, my first priority would have been to loot the bookshelf. You would steal ordinary souvenirs that you could buy virtually anywhere. You can't buy them anywhere. Each one is specific to a location and has its own value. And items that have memories attached to them are the most valuable of all. You can't buy memories. Unfortunately, that last statement is untrue. You can't buy memories. This is what I learned from Pawn Stars. You can't buy memories. But could you really rob someone of their valuable memories just like that? No, because even if I take the souvenir, I can't take the owner's memories. Which goes back to saying that you can't buy memories. This grandfather clock was apparently in a different position before the fire. So if you're kind of confused, I'll refresh what Kay said. So anything that's outlined in yellow occurs in the past. That's where they were in the past. Anything with a dotted line onto it is what's currently in the present. Which means, as you see right now, the grandfather clock was up against the wall. Now it's not. I bet you were confused, right, Dai? It's alright if you were confused. I'm sure a lot of people got confused when they saw this part. But this is a refresher for those who might be confused. If you see a yellow line out of anything, that is something that was in the past, not the present. With the dotted line, that's something that's in the present. According to staff members, the clock was flush up against the wall before the fire, sir. Which means most likely it was moved by someone during the fire. Speaking of which, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I don't hear any chiming. Huh? That's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot of every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged an internal mechanism or something. Ambassador Pelino, maybe we take a look inside the clock? Sure, go right on ahead. Detective Guncho, if you could please inspect the inside of the clock. Yes, sir, I'm on it. Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir. Looks like a length of wire. So this was caused the clock to stop chiming? But what was a long length of wire doing inside this clock in the first place? Wire data jotted down in my organizer. Why would someone do this? It's such a valuable clock. Sounds like it wasn't Mr. Pelino that put the wire in there. Perhaps it was Mr. Cochin's killer who did it. Let me see if he has anything. He does not. Detective, you took part of the initial Babal investigation, correct? Yep, sure did. I also helped put out both fires, sir. But the first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the 5th floor. First I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea because it was in use. So if I hadn't remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd have been burnt to a crisp. Wait, that's odd. We always warn our staff that in case of a fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator. Oh? Maybe someone wrote it in a fit of a panic? Detective, did you see the autograsso that came into the Babalese embassy at all? I didn't personally. The other staff members told me they never got a good look at the person either, sir. I wonder if you could tell me a bit more about what you discovered, Detective. The second floor broke out around the time the Yatagarasu was spotted in Elabeth. That's also when a suspicious person was spotted in Babal, which caused some panic. So no one was able to get a good look at the Yatagarasu that entered Babal. All they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. But that's not enough to make a positive ID, you know. Still, it was enough to make the person who receiving the calling card panic even more. A person in a long coat. Sounds like the exact person I saw. The Yatagarasu that appeared in the Elabest was proven to be just a fabrication, a shadow. In light of the fact that the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babal is also suspect. You can't be serious! Not when we're this close to capturing the fake. I mean, Callisto you. No, the Yatagarasu appeared, caused mass confusion, killed Mr. Cochin, and disappeared. By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu? I did, but well, the embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members I was with and was lost for a while there. You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective? I'll be sure to do But you know, it was thanks to me being lost that I was able to come to Kay's rescue. Oh, is that a fact? Yeah, it was when I was lost and wandering around in the third floor hallway, sir. When I heard a scream, I headed towards it right away. Oh, that's probably from when I found Mr. Coach's body. Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got really worried and ran as fast as I could. And it was thanks to Gummy that Miss China wasn't able to take me away. He covered for me until you got here, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, I see. So we can be useful once in a blue moon. Still, it's too bad that Agent Sheena got here before I did. I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here. Well, just before I got to this room, I started coming out of the room next door. Agent Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yada Grasta herself earlier. Well, she apparently helped in putting out the first fire. Then during the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yada Grasta. She seems to be a very dedicated agent. You would do well to learn from her. Why are you pointing at me when you say that, sir? We've examined everything in this office, but there is one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask the Ambassador Pelino about it. Ambassador Pelino, there is something I'd like to ask you about. Yes? About this office. It appears to me to be very similar to Ambassador Elba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock. Oh, that's right. You've also paid a visit to the Elbastine side of the embassy. Our two embassies actually used to be one. Yes, I know. Even the pamphlet mentioned that. Which is why the building is bilaterally symmetrical. So no matter which room, the location of the fire and the light are exactly the same. Even where the art is located is the same. As my room is currently under renovation, we worked hard to make Mandy's room look like the ambassador's office. You mean for your handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja? Yes, that's right. I mean, what's a photo like that worth if it's not taken in the ambassador's office, right? And another odd expression of Babal's excessively competitive spirit with best. I take it. Thank you, Ambassador. That piece of information is all I needed to connect the dots. Connect the dots? Well, anyways, I'm glad I was able to be of some help. Let's see. Nothing new. By the way, these are bills. So, Babal is really into pushing their tourism industry, huh? Yes, it would appear that way. So they're brochures? You know, I'd really love to take a trip. Hey, why don't we take another look? Take one after this case. Do you really have a destination in mind? Well, ideally, I'd like to go someplace where I can continue my thief training. Well, if you want to learn that fine arts of stealth, perhaps you should visit the studio where they make the Jammin' Ninja TV show. Hey, that's actually a pretty good idea, Mr. Edgeworth. I can't believe she took me seriously. Fireplace, huh? So Babal's office has them too. Two? There's a fireplace in relatively the same location in the Elbastine office. However, we found something there that I'd rather not call ever again. I still can't believe that we found the undershirt in that fireplace. If it was that traumatizing, why don't you try creating new memories with this fireplace? You could climb inside and we can play hide and seek. And come out covered in soot? I think not. You really have no sense of fun, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright. Hello. Alright, let's start piecing some things together. No. We'll take the fireplace, but we'll also take this one. Volatile bilateral symmetry. Yellowstein and Bubbly's sides of the building are symmetrical to each other. As we know that to be a fact, then this room's fireplace may also hide a secret passage. A secret passage? In LBS, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall. A revolving wall? It sounds like something out of the ninja house. Whoa, there's a trick like that built into the fireplace, sir? What? This embassy holds that kind of secret? There seems to be a lot about this room that you don't know about, Ambassador. I guess it's time to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and what you know about this room. What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's get to the bottom of this. Agreed. And my first thought is that it's likely the killer used a revolving fireplace. Looks like just another fireplace, though. Doesn't it? So, how do you turn it again? In LBS, I had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace. Oh, I see an X back there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it. Ah, you scared me, sir! Well, there is something odd. There is something about this fireplace that lies in contradiction to the fact. Huh? But we found an X where you thought there'd be one, right? We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from this scene. What does this contradiction mean for us? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. So I'm going to put this right there, and we're going to deduce. So the reason why I'm putting it there, you'll find out, okay? This is not related to any specific evidence, but it's related to a testimony. That will give you a hint. Is this the spot where somehow connected to any of the evidence that I hold? So, That's all of them. Ambassador Pelino, you said that you burned some files, old files in this fireplace, correct? Yes, I burned quite a few files this morning, actually. And after you did, you forgot to clean out the ashes from the fireplace, correct? That's right, but why are you asking, and why are you making such a scary face? Sorry, I admit I'm a bit intimidating when I'm serious. In any case, take a good look at the fireplace and tell me what you find out about it. Huh? Where did all the ashes go? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't really think that Ambassador Pelino is lying, do you? No, there's no reason for him to lie. I don't believe his testimony is wrong either. It is the fireplace that is causing the contradiction. Okay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace data for me. You got it. I'll add the ashes from the burned files and... Sounds like we're pretty much figured out everything out right now, huh? Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us. Oh, I sense it coming on. You're about to dazzle us again, right? Oh, you mean that? Well, it's what Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know? Well, there's really no need for you two to dance around the name of what I am about to do. We got more to piece together. The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple. It's not because someone cleaned them up, right? No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is too clean for that. Ambassador Pelino said that he spilled some bubbly ink while he was burning the files. And yet, there is not a trace of the spilled ink on the back wall anywhere. Well then, I don't know what happened. Well, I'll tell you what happened. The two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moved into the neighboring room. Which means that this is a clear indication that the fireplace was used. Revolving fireplace wall data jotted down in my organizer. Then, you mean the person I was chasing disappeared from the room through there? Yes, I believe the person you were in pursuit of is Mr. Cochin's killer. After committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace. We got one more logic that we can piece together. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out the killer's escape route. Hell, but this is only the beginning. Now we have to chase the killer down. Alright, so we can only piece two more together. And that's that. Oh, okay, you want this one and this one. If the killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next room, then it's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room. Well, the person that was in the next room was, it was the person. It was that person, sir. Yes, Detective. Agent Chino. It looks like more and more like Miss Tina is the killer, isn't it? Let's not jump to conclusion yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next room and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Cochin. I don't have any proof yet, however, I know she is hiding something from us. Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Tina herself? No, not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, it is my job to do something, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, I have the two-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on Damascus note. Okay, I'll get the lab boys on that right away. Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall. Right now, sir? No, next decade. Of course now! We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we? Go on, Gummy, you can do it. Alright, I'm going to do this like a real man. Here I go, through the fireplace and back. You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective. Wow, this wall inside the fireplace really did turn. That's so neat! Now I want to try going through there too. There really is a secret passage through there. I had no idea. It would appear that the ashes really was pushed into the other room. Furthermore, the bubbly ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall. Okay, here I go, sir. Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same conditions as the killer. There's all that ash stuff. The point is, now we're short on time, so if you could please hurry on through. Good. Okay, so now we're pretty much have the whole picture, right? No, not yet. There seems to be a few more mysteries to solve, such as the Adagrashi's whereabouts, the other smuggling ring members, the 2 weapons that made it across the border, the key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies. Mr. Edgeworth, a number of the pieces connected in a very complicated way in this case. It's also enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said that it's easy if you follow the lead. Was that supposed to be an impression of me, Kay? If it's info gathering you need, Gummy and I can help with that. Then all you have to do is show off your fancy schmancy logical deduction. Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that? Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? We've been so focused like a laser on only what seems straight and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think things through calmly, the answer should come to us. Okay. That's the sort of thing I say to myself. When I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know, that is something that I hope practice doesn't make perfect for your sake. Hey, looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm back, sir. Yes, I can see that. Good work, detective. Looks like you can use that fireplace like a door, sir. Are you alright, Gummy? I'm okay. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all. Your jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem has practically turned black. Yeah, well, quite a bit of the unburned ink got on it, sir. I see. Thank you, detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bills for the trench coat. What? Oh, no, sir. I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. If it was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it clean. But, you know, see, very well then. As you wish. So because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it can be used, right? Yes. But that's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact. That is, I will have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis, Detective W. Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. The handwriting analysis on Mr. Coach's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let us go and wait in the CH from the trellis, along with Agent Ling and Agent Sheena. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm unable to continue on to the next part because the next part is going to be longer than this one. Yay! So from here we got 3 more parts. Technically we have 4 parts. We have 4 parts actually, because we're gonna do the second part of the middle, and the ladder has 3 parts. This is going to be very interesting. Not as long as Rise from the Ashes, like I said. But what have we learned so far? What have we learned so far? You didn't think of something, Di. What have we learned so far? You didn't have to do any pressing of testimony in this one. That's the only thing you learned? Because we kind of learned about that in the last stream. We should have learned that Sheena is actually the Sewer, the presumed Yadagarasu on Babal. She's a suspect for murdering Mr. Cochin. Give me a second here. I'm just looking through things. But yeah, that's what we were figuring out. And since we got Sheena's whereabouts in this case, we have made her a suspect to this case. So most of tomorrow is going to be a bunch of testimonies. Okay. All right, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to find a raid target, but I'm going to remind you, go ahead and take a look at that link. Get your 10%. They have not shut down the sponsor, so we're going to keep being sponsored by Poggers. True. Again, I'm going to recap for next month. Next month is October. We're going to be doing Castlevania all month. So, it's not going to be every day. Trust me. We'll figure out what day to do Castlevania. But that's what we have planned for next month, is we're going to do Castlevania games. I'm pretty sure they're going to be all on the Switch. If not, if we have days left over, we'll probably do the PlayStation 2 version. And no, we're not doing them in chronological order. Maybe in release date order. So, oh, Discord stream. It's going to be the Wacky Wolf Football League and the Fantasy Football League off season after the stream. just playing Kingdom Hearts Remix. So, you guys will all have